Welcome back to my channel, my beauties. I hope everybody's well. I'm happy to be in your living room. Sit back, relax. And today I want to share a perspective I don't often see online. And that is the 7 things luxury designers almost always avoid in a home. And why. So this isn't about spending more, it's about understanding what actually makes a space feel elevated, timeless, and thoughtfully designed. So this is going to be a really good episode. There's a lot of takeaway. I'll explain why these items don't translate to a luxury context, what we pay attention to as professionals, and share swaps that are both beautiful and achievable. Think of this as an insider's peek into the professional mindset of a designer. What we notice, what reads cheap, and what we truly deem as worthy, that elevates your home. First and foremost, the most important thing of all, I am going to be buried in a marble tomb, or at least have a marble tombstone. There has to be marble around my death. So faux marble is tempting because it looks like marble in a photo, but it's just not great in person. And here's the truth. Any trained eye immediately, and I mean instantly, notices when the veining is too uniform, glossy, or perfectly repetitive. It's just very simple to detect. And luxury design is about nuance and depth. Marble is never just a pattern. It's a material with weight you can see through that you can't see through a porcelain, shall we say, slab. So you want to have that natural variation. Why this doesn't work? Well, repetitive patterns feel synthetic. Glossy surfaces reflect light unnaturally and can appear cheap. It doesn't interact with your surrounding materials at all, the same way that natural stone does. And so it really just dumbs down the design. And we think about designers, how materials really age with patina, and luxury is tactile. It invites touch. Faux marble doesn't have that subtle lived-in appeal whatsoever. In fact, it chips over time, especially around the edges near a sink, and then it has to be entirely replaced. Whereas in a home that has marble, by the way, you can allow it to patina. I have clients who are like, I don't care if there's water rings and patina. It creates a lived-in look. Now, something that you guys can use if marble is out of your price range, which it is for a lot of us, I understand, is maybe to use honed limestone, soapstone. Something we're using a lot of is Taj Mahal. It's a quartzite, and it is actually more durable than marble, porcelain, any man-made material. It is absolutely, unequivocally one of the best stones out there. The price is phenomenal. So for anyone who says, no, I can't use marble, it's gonna stain, whatever, quartzite, honed quartzite is even better than porcelain slabs. It'll wear better. So you are going to have the pattern, you're gonna have the sophistication with the durability and at much lower costs. So there's no reason why we should go man-made at all. Now, before we move on, I'm going to ask you guys to please hit that subscribe button because we need to have more subscribers in order for the channel to grow and get better algorithms so I can keep doing this content for you guys. It means so much. So if you did that just for me, it would mean the world. Heart. All right. Number 2, boob lights and overhead sconces. When we talk lighting, and yes, I did say boob lights. So when we talk lighting, the simplest fixtures often make the biggest difference. Standard ceiling lights and sort of builder grade sconces above mirrors are flat, literally and figuratively. So they don't have a room dimension and they literally kill the ambiance. Why this doesn't work? Well, flattened light reduces the sense of depth. Cheap-looking fixtures anchor a space at a lower visual level, and often they're proportionally wrong in the room. Lighting needs to be layered. I have preached this every moment of every day. We look at ambient, we look at task, and we look at accent lighting for that trifecta of perfection. So a single central boob light, shall we call it, or over the mirror sconce rarely satisfies all 3. Scale matters. A small fixture in a large room makes a space feel cheap, while a sculptural piece adds artful presence. So what can you do? In luxury, statement chandeliers, sculptural brass pendants, or layered sconces that cast soft shadows are much more desirable. Now, there are definitely great companies such as Rejuvenation, West Elm, CB2 that have that vintage pendant layered look, table lamps, and all of these can look very, very beautiful and layered in your home. Now, number 3, something that hearts the heart but must be considered, and that is polyester everything. It's true for clothing, and it's also true for what's in your home. So polyester, although very practical, it lacks the breathability, drape, and tactile quality that luxury fabrics provide. And these days, you can get luxury fabrics that are also eco, that drape well, that are easy to clean, and that are performant. So there is no excuse why we need to go to polyester. You can certainly have synthetic materials in your home. I understand that, but you just have to make sure that they feel good, that they don't look inexpensive, and that they're comfortable to sit on. You don't want to be sitting on polyester and sweat the whole day. So why do we hate on polyester? Well, because it really traps heat. It's uncomfortable to sit on, as I mentioned. It has pilling and static that reduces sort of the longevity of the fabric. It sometimes is shiny, and then it just looks cheap. So when we think about materials that develop character with time, luxury upholstery and linens get better with age, and they last really long. I mean, for example, beautiful wools, beautiful cottons, beautiful linens are a great, great purchase. Another great item that you could certainly swap out for are perhaps some premium velvets, or perhaps cotton linen blends. High quality slip covers are always a good idea. And there are some really nice faux velvets that look very, very luxurious with the right price tag. So it's really not about price, it's about the feel of the texture and the warmth of the fabric and how it looks in person. So you have to check them out live. Number 4. Now we have 7 of these I've left and have held off for the biggest and most important for the last. As you guys know, I always do that. But before we get to the 7th and most important, let's talk about what we are avoiding altogether. We are avoiding ribbed furniture. Textured furniture can be fun, but ribbing can be very trend driven. Luxury design really favors forms that are timeless rather than seasonal. So if you see a beautiful dresser, don't buy it in the ribbed. Just get it in the smooth version. So overall, literal trends date very, very quickly, and ribbing and sometimes scallop, if it's overly done, often limit versatility. So it's really hard to mix with other styles, for one thing, and not feel like it was 2 years ago. So instead, we focus as designers on form, proportion, and scale. Curves are great, but subtle ones that last decades is exactly where we are focusing our attention. So what you can do instead is find clean, elegant curves in sort of leather and wood, velvets, and these are very accessible. Neutral curved chairs are accessible, or sofas. They have the timeless appeal that won't be like a gimmick. And since so many of you asked, today I'm wearing these gorgeous rich burgundy pants that are very tailored, very fun to wear. My shoes are Totem, and my beautiful solid brass handled purse is from Guyana. And my jacket is from a favorite daughter, and it has a scallop neckline, which I really enjoy. My belt is Jacques Mus. Oh, I should also mention my beautiful two-tone earrings are Misoma. Everything will be linked in the description section so that you can check them out. Number 5, something we avoid at all cost are farmhouse elements. So rustic farmhouse elements are cozy, but they don't translate universally at all. So a barn door, everybody knows that I hate barn doors. I am very vocal about this. And if I see another one in a Manhattan apartment, I'm going to die, because Manhattan should not have a barn door. So we think about whether the architectural details and the surroundings and the lifestyle support that aesthetic. And unless you're in a farm, you must not have a barn door. That's just the way it goes, guys. And if you need to hate on me, then I will take it. But it just doesn't wear well over time. Also, let's not forget that an overuse of a literal style can flatten your personal expression. So unless you're a cowgirl, which I appreciate if you are, then you should definitely have a barn door. But if you are in the middle of Manhattan, it doesn't make sense. Hopefully That's hopefully I'm clear about it. So what designers do is that they often, most likely, prioritize authenticity. Materials should feel natural in the space, sort of not imposed. So what could you do instead? Well, you could do reclaimed wood, which is really beautiful. Artisanal ceramics are lovely. Tactile textures are one of my favorites. And maybe some accessible woven baskets, hand-thrown pottery, layers of texture without overdoing a theme. So it's not that we as designers are against the farmhouse. We just want it to be done beautifully. I would love to see, you know, in the beautiful, maybe in the hills of California, a beautiful farmhouse. I think there's nothing more chic. But what do I want to see in this farmhouse that can stand the test of time? Maybe some gorgeous earthenware and pottery and metal shaped pitchers on an old farm table with like linens that are rustic and beautiful. That to me is gorgeous. Now, one of the best ways to add warmth and texture without going overboard is through layered textile. And that is exactly why I designed a line of rugs with Ruggable. Not only is it because I wanted them to be washable and pet friendly because I've got dogs, I have one dog, but also because I wanted to bring that elevated look to the masses so that you can have a really high-end looking rug that you can wash and clean easily. So if you guys are interested in the line, I have linked all of my Ruggable rugs below. I find them to be phenomenally beautiful, especially now that they have the tufted version, which allows it to be thicker, more comfy, more cozy, and certainly elevated. They will be linked in the description section below. Now, overly branded items, just like fashion, we don't want to have logos all over our bodies. We do not want to have logos or branding, you know, in our homes either. So your designer bag logo, your cushions with logos, all of that screams, I've got cash, but not the right way. So real luxury is subtle, whether it's quiet luxury or whether you are team logo, team quiet luxury, none of that matters. Honestly, like Loro Piana, good luxurious items are often detected from miles away. You can just sense them. You can sense how chic they are. And we like subtleness. I think designers all love subtleness and like to bring something that is elevated, such as modern art, as a juxtaposition to all the subtlety, if that makes sense. You certainly don't want to feel ostentatious or inauthentic. So pick the things that really represent who you are. And if you are the kind of maximalist that loves logos, then do it, but do it with fervor, do it with impact, do it in a way that's really uniquely artful and you. So what would I recommend as an interior designer to put in so that you don't have that sort of branded logo an authentic vibe? Well, timeless, unbranded furniture that makes a statement through design rather than a logo. So, for example, a Mies van der Rohe chair doesn't have a logo, but everybody knows with the Barcelona chair. It is one of the most beautiful, timeless 50s designs out there, and it just looks great. It's personal, it's thoughtful, and it's very interesting. Number 7, this is the last, but the most important thing that a lot of us feel, and we fall into this trap, many of us. I have fallen into this trap myself. I am not perfect, guys, by any stretch of the imagination. I am learning and moving and evolving just like you guys. And one of them is too much gold, right? My blood loves gold. I love gold, but there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. So flashy metallics everywhere, shiny gold faucets everywhere, gold hardware in your cabinetry everywhere. All of that feels luxe at first glance, but when all of it is together, it could feel like Vegas. And we want things to feel authentically beautiful. So I love a splash of gold, but I have a rule. One giant gold piece per room, and that's it. In this room, as an example, I've got my planter that's in the middle of this table. That is a very large gold planter. By the way, it is patinaed, it is old, it is solid brass, it's beautiful, but you will not find anything else that's large and gold in this room. Maybe a knob on a dresser, but that's it. So pick your poison. One good giant gold thing and you're set. Again, oversized metallics do reduce a sense of refinement. So I always say, layer your metals sparingly. one statement lamp or your planter or a mirror or hardware. You know, the goal is not to be flashy, but to be chic and understated. If you have a penchant to go overly gold, well, there are solutions to this particular bad habit, or shall we say addiction, and that is brushed brass or a patinaed unlacquered brass. We'll patina into a darker tone so it won't be so flashy and it won't be so gold, so it can afford you maybe a little bit more gold in the room than you had originally anticipated. And just think of it as small doses of beauty. I want to know, which of these trends bothers you the most? Is there one that really grates on your nerves? I gotta hear about it. I want to know what you guys are thinking. I love our community. I love how we come together every Sunday. I hope you guys are enjoying this content. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you have any dilemmas of any kind when it comes to furnishing and you just want a one-on-one session with me, well, don't forget, I'm always available for you guys. I've loved meeting all of you. There's a link in the description section where you can have a 25 or longer meeting with me via Zoom, and I've had so much fun meeting so many of you, and you have all unilaterally, and I am not joking, stated that these meetings have saved you a tremendous headache and money. So the fact that I'm able to help you guys makes my life worthwhile. It makes what I do the reason, my raison d'être. So I love you guys, and I'll see you again next week on this channel, The Red Elevator.